for the people who feel like, oh, well, I don't need healing. There's nothing wrong with me. You know how, like, you hear a lot of people in our community that feel like they're fine, they came out perfectly, there's nothing wrong. And I feel like there's always room for improvement, for us to grow. And sometimes we don't
Absolutely.
realize the trauma, how trauma has impacted us. So,
Yes.
can you speak to that in any way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When we go through trauma, our natural response is to forget about it. Is to numb ourselves. Is to, because it's hard to deal with because it's traumatic.
Yeah.
So rather than, just explode and just cry for days and days, we might have a day and then we got to go back to work.
Yeah.
So we suck it in, we hold it in, and then, we feel like we're all right, but that stuff is still inside of us.
Yeah.
And when we don't address it, it could become heart disease, it could become diabetes, it could become fibroids and those types of things because it's a thing. Emotions are real. And so, we can't just hold them in and expect it to be all right. So, like you said, everyone has something that they can work on to be a better version of themselves.
Hmm.
Everybody has. That's why you here.
Yeah.
That's what life is about. It's
Yeah.
a path of enlightenment. It's a path of, learning certain lessons so that we could grow wiser and become, you know, a divine being, right?
Yeah.
That's the main goal of life. We just forget about that because we
Hmm.
get caught up trying to chase the bag.
Yeah.
So, people, tend to swallow their stuff, their emotions, their trauma, and then just live through life until they get sick. And then they got to go to the doctor, then they got to get some pills, but they don't usually even address that
Hmm.
pain unless they're triggered, and
Yeah.
the triggers sometimes will bring up the conversations because sometimes it's just having certain conversations that can help bring healing.
Yeah.
But, we tend to run from that. We
Hmm.
don't like to have difficult conversations, or we want to have them in a way like they presented on Ratchet Housewives. So rather than having an
Yeah.
actual grown up conversation saying, hey, I got a problem, we want to come and say, hey, name calling, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah, cussing, carrying on, which, that is just going to create more trauma.